Pluto is a small, faraway object that used to be a planet. But some space experts, like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Michio Kaku, are bringing it up again. They're saying Pluto might actually crash into Neptune. It's not just a random thought, they're actually warning us. This little world could be headed for a major collision. How is that even possible, and what would happen if it did? Is it just a weird illusion, or is something real and scary coming our way? Pluto's path gets really close to Neptune's, and Tyson and Kaku are worried that even a small change could cause a huge planetary accident. Could Earth be in danger too? And how could this even happen? Let's look at what might happen if Pluto and Neptune crashed. Pluto used to be a planet, but now it's a dwarf planet. Still, its journey through space is interesting. Researchers say Pluto's path gets way too close to Neptune's. Tyson and Kaku are telling everyone that these two could hit each other, which could be bad for Earth. So, how could this go down? Pluto's trip around the Sun is odd. It takes 248 Earth years to go around once. Since we found it in 1930, it hasn't even made a full circle. Plus, Pluto's path is super stretched out, unlike the other planets. And it's tilted 17 degrees compared to the Sun. It's a weird path. Here's the crazy part, Pluto's path crosses Neptune's. For about 20 years of its orbit, Pluto is actually closer to the Sun than Neptune. So, why haven't they hit each other yet? It's because of gravity from other big objects. People started studying Pluto's path right after we found it. Most planets go around the Sun on a flat plane, but Pluto's path is tilted and uneven. To make things worse, it crosses Neptune's path. The fact that Pluto is still stable shows how complicated space is. It's like trying to guess where things will be based on where they start and how gravity pulls them. Terms like asynchronous oscillation, orbital drift, and VZK wobble help explain this. Asynchronous oscillation helps keep things steady. When Pluto crosses Neptune's path, it's always at least 90 degrees away from Neptune, so they don't crash. Orbital drift is when something moves up and down as it goes around. For Pluto, this means it's above Neptune's path when it gets close, adding another layer of safety. The VZK wobble, named after Zeldovik, Kozai, and Litov, describes how Pluto, Neptune, and the Sun pull on each other. This explains why Pluto's path near the Sun looks weird, even though it's actually pretty stable over time. It shows that even though space seems crazy, there are rules that keep things in order. These forces keep Pluto from crashing into Neptune or flying off course. Back in the 1980s, computer models said that even though Pluto's path is steady, it can still be unpredictable. Small changes could cause big problems over time. But Pluto's path has been stable for a long time. These days, we can see how Neptune, Jupiter, and Saturn affect Pluto's trip around the Sun. Pluto and Neptune have a special rhythm. For every 2 laps Pluto makes, Neptune does 3. This helps keep Pluto on track. But Neptune isn't the only one. Jupiter's gravity also helps keep Pluto steady. Studies show that Jupiter's size is enough to keep Pluto's path stable for billions of years. It seems like Neptune, Jupiter, and Saturn are working together to keep Pluto safe. These systems are super important for keeping our solar system stable. Without them, space would be a mess. Things like Pluto could crash into each other or get thrown out of the system. That's why it's important to understand Pluto's movement, especially since it might run into Neptune someday. It helps us see how things change in our planetary family. Pluto shows us that even weird orbits can be stable because of gravity and movement. We have to keep watching and studying these weird things to understand our place in the universe. When we look at space, we see crazy stuff. Pluto's orbit is one of those things. Orbital chaos means that orbits can change a lot based on where they start. For Pluto, even small changes in speed or location can change its path a lot. Computer simulations help us study Pluto's behavior. We can change things like speed or location and see how that affects Pluto's path. Back in the 1980s, models showed that even with things like asynchronous oscillation and orbital drift, Pluto's path can still be unpredictable. A small change could cause big differences in just a few years. But Pluto's path has been steady for billions of years, so there's some hidden consistency. Still, it's hard to guess where things will go, especially things like Pluto. Besides its unpredictable path, Pluto also shows how things are always changing in space. Even with all we know about space, Pluto reminds us that we still have a lot to learn. Studying how big planets affect Pluto helps us understand our solar system better. It shows that each planet's size and location can change other planets. So, why are scientists suddenly worried about Pluto hitting Neptune? Tyson has his own ideas. Tyson, who is known for saying Pluto isn't a planet, gives us some insight into how our understanding of orbits changes over time. He doesn't think changing Pluto's status was a bad thing. He thinks it was the right thing to do based on what we know. Tyson thinks learning and changing our minds is important to understanding space. He thinks things like Pluto's path show how much more there is to learn. But even though Tyson is usually optimistic, he's a little worried about Pluto and Neptune hitting each other. He knows Pluto has been safe so far, but small changes over time could cause a problem. Pluto's orbit is fragile, and it might not last forever. Tyson says that even small changes in Pluto's movement could cause big problems over thousands or millions of years. It's not happening right away, but it's possible. Still, Tyson says we need to keep watching and studying Pluto's orbit. Tyson isn't the only one. Kaku also sees the problems that could happen from planets interacting. Like Tyson, Kaku is amazed by space, but he also knows that planetary systems are fragile. Both Kaku and Tyson say we need to keep exploring the forces that guide orbits. So, Pluto shows us that our understanding of space is always changing. Each thing we find leads to new questions. Even though it's unlikely, the chance of Pluto and Neptune hitting each other reminds us that space is full of surprises. Even steady planetary paths can change a lot over time. Pluto inspires us to keep looking up and wondering what else is out there.